Hi everyone, hope you are doing good. In the next few videos, we'll be exploring Azure Synapse. You might be asking why Azure and why Azure Synapse. Firstly, why Azure? Well, because Azure has become a popular choice for organizations who have been using Microsoft Stack for quite some time now. And secondly, why Azure Synapse? Because Azure has combined multiple individual or isolated components like Azure Data Factory, Spark, and Databricks into one place called Synapse Workspace. The next few videos on Azure Synapse will be mostly helpful for beginner to intermediate level audience. We will start from scratch and we'll create a new Synapse workspace. Then we will look at different features and capabilities of Synapse, like serverless SQL tools, Python notebooks, pipelines, link services, and others. And lastly, we'll go through hands-on exercises of some practical use cases of Azure Synapse to see how we can leverage this product from Microsoft Azure. We would keep this a short video, and in this video we'll create a new Synapse workspace and we'll leave the other things we want to cover for upcoming videos. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. So what you can see here is I've got Azure portal open in front of me. What I want to do is to create a new Synapse workspace, which I can do by clicking on this plus icon or this Synapse Analytics icon. So if I click on this icon, it will take me to the landing page of Synapse Analytics Workspace, where I can manage different existing workspaces. But currently there is none. So what I want to do is to create a new resource by clicking on this create icon. So once I click on this create button, it will take me to some basic settings page which are required for creating a new workspace. It will ask for some basic parameters like which resource group do I want to use, what is the workspace name, what is the region, and the data lake storage account. So it is a primary condition to create a Synapse workspace to have a data lake storage account. Why do we actually need it? We'll probably explore that in the upcoming videos. But for now, it is a requirement to have a data lake storage account defined. We can actually create one here, or we can have an existing one which we can use. Um, and obviously, you need a subscription as shown here. So what I want to do is to actually use a resource group that I have already created, and this is called Synapse RG or Synapse Resource Group. So I'll select that. I'm not going to put the value of managed resource group here because that is primarily required for organizations if you have some particular naming conventions. It asks for the workspace name, so let's give it some um, workspace name. Uh, we call it Synapse dash basic test. And then what I want to do is to actually give the details of the data lake storage account. I can create a new one. I don't have any existing storage accounts here. So what I will do is to use some unique combination of alphabets and numbers, and it has accepted Synapse DL, which is data lake, and I've just given it some number 3 to 4 to create that account for us, and it asks for the file system or the directory structure, or in other words, the container, and let's call it Synapse Data Lake container for now. And let's click on OK. Then it will ask for the security settings. I will leave the security settings to default. I won't change them here because it's not required at this stage. Then we click on networking and we'll leave the basic settings or the default settings as they are. If you want to attach some tags to identify your resources, you can. For now, I'll skip that as well, and then it will go to the review and create tab. It will give you the details of the cost that is involved in creating that resources, and it will provide a summary of the settings that you have selected. And In the background, it will validate all the settings to make sure that the settings that you have defined are okay for the workspace to be created. And if it is fine, then yes, it will give this tick saying validation succeeded. And as a last step, what you want to do is to press on this create icon. So once you click on this, it can take some time for the deployment to happen, and maybe a couple of minutes. This deployment should be successful, and once it is successful, um, we will be having the new workspace launched for us and ready for us to explore. So I might just take a pause and come back to it when the workspace has been launched. So it took about 3 to 4 minutes for the deployment to complete, and now the Synapse Workspace has been created. I can click on Go to Resource Group button, and it will take me to the Resource Group page where it will display the Synapse Workspace that I created and also the storage account, which we created as part of creating a workspace. So if I click on this Synapse workspace, it will take us to the resource page where we'll have the parameters that we set up while setting up the workspace. We can read the documentation here, but what I want to do is to open the Synapse Studio. So if I click on open, it will take us to the Synapse Analytics workspace landing page. It might just take a few seconds, maybe for the first time. So yeah, for those of you who have seen or have worked on Azure Data Factory, this interface looks pretty similar to Azure Data Factory interface. On the left-hand side, you have the home page where we are currently. We have a data page where we can actually see all the workspaces that we can create. We can have the link services displayed here under the link section. We can create Python notebooks under the develop section. We can create pipelines in the integrate sections. We can have the monitoring capability of all the pipeline runs or the SQL tools that we can create, and we can monitor their functionality here. And in the manage tab, we can actually set up the link services and a few other options here, which we'll explore in the upcoming videos. So that's it for this video. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.